Percy wasn't feeling well. His joints ached and he couldn't breathe properly. The Fat Controller came with an inspector, who examined Percy and made notes in a small book. When they had finished, the Fat Controller looked serious. "You'll have to go to the works, Percy," he said. "They'll make you better, but it will be a long time." "Who will look after my trucks?" said Percy. "Toby can't do everything on his own." "He certainly can't," agreed the Fat Controller. "I shall borrow another engine." The only engine the other railway could spare was a diesel shunter. Doug was at the works when he heard an oily purring noise. He recognised the new arrival at once. "It's Diesel," he thought, and scuttled behind the shed. "What's he come back for?" he said crossly. "The Fat Controller sent him away in disgrace." The Fat Controller was cross too, but he needed another engine, and Diesel was the only one available. When Diesel reached the junction, Thomas was waiting with Annie and Clarabel. "Hello," said Thomas suspiciously. "You've come to help Toby, I suppose. Well, no tricks, mind." Diesel looked pained. "Tricks? What, me?" he asked smoothly. "I'm just delighted to be of assistance to you really useful engines again." "Good," replied Thomas shortly. "I'll believe that when I see it." Diesel listened, purring quietly. "Yes, Thomas," he said smoothly. "I understand, Thomas. Of course, Thomas." The trucks knew that the Fat Controller wanted Diesel away for troublemaking. "Let's have some fun," they sniggered. They teased Diesel. "Here's Evil Deisel," they whispered, as he came into the yard. "Oily creature." "Yes, Thomas," they mimicked. "Of course, Thomas. Anything you say, Thomas." Diesel could stand no more. "Grrr!" he roared furiously. "I'll teach you."
He banged the trucks hard into the buffers, but the buffers weren't secure. The silly trucks were sunk. Soon, the Fat Controller heard the news. The trucks were hoisted safely from the sea, but the clay was lost.
The Fat Controller was furious. "You will go back to the other railway as soon as I can arrange it," he thundered. When the Fat Controller finished with him, Diesel was glad he was going home.
Next day, Henry's train was late at the junction. When Thomas set out along the valley, he was trying to make up for lost time. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and something hard hit the bottom of his left-hand water tank. "Ouch!" exclaimed Thomas and stopped. As he did so, he felt water splashing cold against his wheels. "One of your side rods has broken," said his driver. "It swung up and punctured your tank."
Diesel was waiting at the next station, pulling his last train before going home in disgrace. He sniggered slyly when he heard about Thomas. "Serves him right," he said. Then Diesel remembered that while Thomas was blocking the single line, he couldn't get past. The trucks tittered as he pushed them crossly into a siding. "Bother," thought Diesel. "I shall have to help or I can't go home." He set off to the rescue. With sanded rails, Thomas could help too. The engines moved forward a little way. Then, using plenty of sand, both engines pulled the train up the hill. "Thank you, Diesel," said Clarabel. "You were splendid." Diesel began to feel sorry that he was going home, and now everyone hopes Diesel will come again. Diesel hopes so too.